You have heard of Alexander the Great. You've heard of Alexander the Great? The moment you make an idiot like that great, then your life is ruined. Because I want you to understand what this man did. Alexander started off on his conquest mode at the age of 16. He went from country to country, killing hundreds of thousands of people, killing, saying, "This is my land," but won't sit there and enjoy that land, will go to the next one because the other part of the Hyderabad he's looking. Like this, he came all the way to India or to the entry of Indian subcontinent. By then he's 32. He's tired, killing, fighting, killing endlessly. He killed many of his very close friends who started off with him because they all wanted to go back. 16 years, no cell phone, you can't talk to your family. They have left their land 16 years ago. At the age of 16, 17, they are fighting endlessly, killing, blood, that's all they have seen. Everybody's tired, but this man wants the other part of Hyderabad. So, he went through a certain experience. Now, time is running out. For a warrior, 32 is not a good age. Things are becoming little weaker, not as good as it was at 25. So he is worried. So one thing is, he wants to conquer the world and it's taking too much time. So he wanted to become immortal. This is the next. Once you have Hyderabad, next is immortality. So he wants to become immortal. So he heard lots of stories, Indian yogis, mystics who lived for thousands of years, India is full of such stories. So he sent out an advance party of 8 soldiers. Go find an Indian yogi who will teach me the science of immortality. So they came looking around and then they found one yogi, somewhere probably looking at the descriptions, we think somewhere in the, let's say, in the Pakistani Punjab, that region somewhere, looking at the description of terrain, everything, it seems like that, we could be wrong, but somewhere in that region, what is presently Pakistan, which was considered India at that time. So he came and they found a yogi sitting under a tree, just one loincloth simply, sitting there under a tree, blissed out. They looked at him and they said, "You come, our Alexander wants to meet you." The yogi laughed and said, "I'm not going anywhere, I'm here. If he wants, please ask him to come." They said, "No, you better come, he is the emperor, you just come now." He said, "No." They pulled out their swords. These are violent men, they can take off your life for nothing. Now he is given a good cause that he is refusing their orders. So they said, "We'll take off your head." He laughed and said, "Take it off. I've finished everything that I need to do with myself, I'm just sitting here, enjoying my existence. You want to take my head, take it. See, if I take your head, I will not get your intelligence. This is one thing people must understand. If I could get your intelligence, I could take all your heads and keep it with me. But no, if I take your head, I will not get anything from you. Only thing is, I'll have a piece of meat to handle." So then they thought, "Oh, this guy is not scared of death, he must be immortal." They said, begged him, "Please come, our emperor wants to know about immortality." The yogi laughed, "Let him come here." Then they went back and said, "I think we have met a man who is immortal because we pulled out our swords, that guy is not scared, obviously he must be immortal." Then he himself came. When he came, Alexander sat on his horse, emperors wear the most stupid clothing. You know how… every day same clothing. And a metal crown is the most uncomfortable headgear to wear. At least this is nice, this comforts you. Crown is a terrible thing to wear. Just wear one metal strap around your head for 2 days and see how it feels to be a king. So he tried to talk to him, he said, I want to know immortality. The yogi said, get off that stupid horse. Because have you seen always when somebody sits on a horse, they become like this? You sit on an animal which is less intelligent than you and suddenly you feel so big. So he said, you get off that stupid horse first. So he got off. Then he asked about immortality. The yogi tried to tell him, see, this is not the way to go. If you want, I will teach you how to turn inward, we will see. He said, no, I want immortality. After much conversation, when it did not get anywhere, the yogi said, okay, you go in this direction. He gave the landmarks, how to get there, a long journey, about 5-day journey. There is one cave. In that cave, there is a bowl of water in a stone, on the stone floor, there is a certain amount of water. You just drink a handful of that water, you will become immortal. Immediately Alexander set forth. After 3 days, him and these 8 soldiers going, then he thought, if these 8 guys also become immortal, see, the power is in killing them. His power is, I can kill you any moment I want. Suppose you become immortal, I can't kill you, then how do I manage you? So he said, you guys stay here. The last part of the journey, I want to do it myself. So he left them there and alone he went, found the cave. Then he found that water as he was told. He went and put his hands and was about to drink. Then a voice spoke and said, don't drink that water. I drank that and look at my state. He looked around, who's talking? There was nobody around, by then the water slipped out. Then he saw a crow and the crow said, don't drink that water. I drank that water I don't know when, and now the problem is I cannot die. See, if we really want to punish you, death sentence is not such a bad thing. If we curse you that you can never die, 1,000,000 years later you're still sitting here, this is the worst punishment. So, Alexander did one sensible thing, he did not drink that water, otherwise we had to suffer him even today. So this is the only sensible thing he did in his life, he did not drink that water because he realized that he will not be able to bear himself. Forget about the world. The world will suffer, of course, but he himself cannot stand himself beyond a certain point. So we must understand, this life is not a conquest. This is not a conquest. The only thing that's there for you in this life is the profoundness of your experience. How profound is your experience when you sit here? This is all there is, nothing else you carry. Other arrangements we make for convenience. How much convenience do you want? Convenience will work only to a certain point. It will never transform itself into well-being. People have invested and invested like this endlessly.